Alright guys, so welcome to the post-game report for RollToWin Episode 3. We had a 12:50 game between Simon and I, my orcs and his Eldar.
Exactly.
The rocket dice were not on your side this game, unfortunately.
It's still pretty badass.
Pretty badass. So Rob and Adam, I wanted to get your guys' opinion on the game from sitting outside of it.
Horde versus selective force. I think that's probably my biggest takeaway from it. I don't know if it will work. I mean, looking at this game, I can't ever see a dedicated specialized force coping with a horde. At least not for an annihilation game. Had it been a points game and the horde, the orc horde, not been driven just onwards towards the enemy,
diagonally across the table,
there could have been some more strategy involved. You know, there could have been flanking units. The Gretchen would have played a much bigger role rather than hiding.
I feel bad. That's like the second video we recorded, and that's the second game where I just play Gretchen and do nothing with them. But, they do have a use, and you will eventually see them, hopefully.
I mean, especially because when it comes down to troop choices, because a lot of your specialized troops are troop choices, right? Like a lot of your... No, they're not. No, so your troop choices would have been Dire Avengers?
Yeah, and the Jetwings.
Okay, fair enough. But even at that, they would have been deployed differently. You would have had different deployments of the boys, certainly. Certain units would have been more tethered to objectives, or it might have even been sort of like a ring around the rosy type game where you're exchanging objectives or trying to move for a lighter objective while getting your forces into play. I mean, we might have seen, because the Falcon Grav Tank can support troops inside it, we might have seen some Dire Avengers in that for a scoring unit.
Or even Strength and Scorpions. Not as a scoring unit.
But as an assault unit to knock something off objective. So I think maybe a specialized force definitely could be different in an objective game. In a purely annihilation game, I just see them getting annihilated. Unless you can bring to bear a lot of them, but you can't because they're expensive versus a very plentiful army like the boys.
Eldar, it just seems like the higher point games we start playing, just the more boys I'll have. So I really don't know how the Eldar are going to cope with a horde army like that. Out of the four of us, I'm kind of the only horde player. Like Adam has Wolves Eldar and Tau. None of you guys are really horde.
I mean, we have potential versus Tyranid.
Yeah,
and Adam does play orcs too, but he plays sort of a bike mod, which is not quite the same. It's interesting. It's the first time I've seen a horde like this, and if I were fighting, I wouldn't know what to do.
And like you say, the disparity is going to grow.
Yeah.
As the points increase, the boys increase exponentially, and it gets larger and larger.
Choices, though.
That's the upper limit for how many boys you can get.
Yeah,
but then you have other things.
Squads of 30. That's make it sound like not a lot. Again, too, just
the green tide.
Man, the Coptas. I said before, I feel bad about using them sometimes. That turbo boost scout move, if you get the first turn, it's just deadly. It showed again. Simon's kind of saved his tank, but it made that Dire Avenger squad useless.
They just blow across the field like it's nothing.
Yeah, and I made sure to absolutely do that this game, is place them as far as I could forward, because I knew I was getting the first turn and I was going to make them.
So you feel bad about it, but not bad enough not to exploit them.
No, obviously not. Come on. We're here to win.
We need more.
We're here to win or have fun.
Well, a bit of both. Winning is a strategy.
Winning is a strategy.
I think something that really actually boned Simon was the fact of he did not have that much at the beginning. He had tank
and a lot of reserves.
Two squad where you just had everything almost out there.
Yeah, that's if it were an objective game, I would have held more in reserve, because I find the objective games, it kind of matters that you get these full strength units at the end that you can use to grab the objectives late game. But with Annihilation, I was like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to play everything. And aside from the outflanking Coptas, but that's kind of the thing.
But I mean, Simon, do you think putting all of your forces on the table in the beginning would have changed anything? Do you think having your warp spiders being capable of shooting things as they advance, would that have helped?
Not the warp spiders; their guns are really short range.
But but anything really, anything. Yeah, maybe the Falcon Grav.
The Falcon and the jet bikes might have been all right, but striking Scorpions would have gotten shot to death crossing the field, even with their 3+ armor save.
I personally think it would have been there would have been more for Nick to worry about, so this way he wouldn't be unsure where to put his shots out. Because instead, since you only have the two things to deal with, it's okay, well, I have two options to take out, which blew them away.
More potential for the wrong choice.
And then slowly, one at a time would be coming onto the field, and he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just deal with this now.
Yeah, and again, it comes back to the Coptas, because in my first turn, I held up a unit in close combat and made Simon go to ground with another unit. So the only thing I had to worry about in Simon's turn 1 was just the fire prism. And it killed 4 boys. And then from then on, it's okay, well, this is the easy street. I'm just going to walk up as much as I can. I had one unit who didn't really do a whole lot, but that didn't matter.
The Gretchen?
Well, and one of my mobs.
Yeah, like one of the mobs of boys, which almost serves further to illustrate the difference between the two armies as well. I mean, like two of your troop choices, although the Gretchen were a minor point investment, didn't have to do anything. No. To make
and I mean they did sort of like the one mob took out the Falcon eventually, but yeah, a lot of the action environment came from the Death Copies and came from the Lunas.
Your Hard Boys did.
That's true. Yeah, this is the first game that the Art Boys actually did something. They took out the remnants of the Die Avengers and took out the bikes as well.
And the HQ.
That's one thing that could have changed, although I don't know if it would have changed the overall outcome of the game, is had the Fire Prism actually penetrated the rear of that truck.
Yeah, it would have changed it. I don't know how drastically, but it would have done something anyway. And just always take the hollow fields.
Yes.
I know that must be like Eldar viable somewhere, but that is the most annoying upgrade I've seen, aside from maybe disruption pods. But like, how many shaken results did I get? Like a million.
You got a lot in one turn. The boys, I think it was these guys here, if I'm not mistaken, shook it.
Boys, I think.
Maybe. At some point, one of your tanks was shaken 6 times in one turn. And that was in addition to like an immobilized and like a weapon destroyed result.
Yeah, everything but.
Nothing went well there.
It's really good. I mean, really, when it comes to annihilation and kill points, it keeps them out of the graveyard.
Yeah.
Good game.
I don't know. Did your like HQ do anything in this game?
He shot it a little bit. He was basically
cover save.
Yeah. That was his main
save.
goal. This game is that like I made sure to keep him centralized in my whole army side. Everyone except for the Ludas got his cover save.
And the Gretchen.
And the Gretchen. My new assignment was going after them.
I'm sorry, but I still want to see more out of them.
And you will. I'm telling you, objective beings, they'll see more out of them. Or when I fight you, I'll put them in the front lines and get them killed.
That's right.
They just haven't had the opportunity.
I'll play my Orc Army versus your Orc Army, and we'll have a Gretchen like battle royale in the middle.
That's true.
How about that?
A Gretch down.
I'm thinking your MVP probably the Ludas.
Yeah, again, like they were my MVP last game. This game, Kopta's.
Mind you, Kopta's a very good choice for the MVP.
Yeah, but they were more of a distraction when it came to straight up killing. I think I'm gonna give it to the Ludas. Their range, I think I picked the best deployment I could up high. They could see everything and just rain death, and that's what they did.
A victory of your deployment, definitely.
Yeah, except for when it came down to the one guy who was like just firing on his own. But I mean, one orc is never going to hit anything worthwhile. Eventually, maybe like a shining moment, but yeah, not very good.
Every orcs have that chance, that little glimmer of hope.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that's about it for episode 3. So we'll see you guys next time, and when you bring mobs to the table, play fun, roll to win.
Oh man.